Imagine a high school rugby game where the coach is pacing the sidelines, obsessing over a very specific game plan. Out on the field, the referee is there for one reason: to make sure everyone plays by the rules. But then, a group of fans in the stands decides the coach's strategy is mathematically broken. They rush onto the grass and demand the referee force the coach to call different plays. The referee is going to stand their ground. They'll explain that their job is to watch the sidelines and the clock, not to pick which player gets the ball. This exact scenario just played out at New Zealand's highest court, where the final score involves the future of the climate. A group of lawyers tried to get the court to force the government to change its entire climate strategy. It raised a massive question for our democracy. Can a judge actually tell a politician how to solve a crisis? To see how this works, we have to look at the players. The government is the coach, the Supreme Court is the referee, and the environmental lawyers are the fans demanding a new strategy. The rulebook in this game is the Climate Change Response Act, which sets a target of limiting global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. The lawyers argued that this law works like a strict mathematical boundary. They believed the government had to hit that target perfectly, or they were essentially breaking the rules of the game. But the court looked at the specific phrasing of the law, which says budgets must be set with a view to that 1.5-degree goal. In the legal world, those 4 words change everything. They mean the law sets a destination to aim for, rather than a rigid ruler that snaps if you don't measure every step exactly right. Because the law is framed as a goal, the government is allowed to choose its own strategy to get there, even if people in the stands think there's a much faster way to run the play. The lawyers also claimed the government was using cheating math to make their progress look better than it actually was. It comes down to how you count your starting point. The lawyers wanted the government to count every single tree, but the government used a method excluding older forests from their baseline, making their targets far easier to reach. The government defended this math as a necessary choice for New Zealand, where the economy relies heavily on farming and specific types of forestry. The judges saw this as a many-sided problem. They used the term polycentric. Think of it like a massive web, where tugging on one single string moves 20 others in directions you didn't even know were connected. When the government sets a climate budget, they aren't just looking at a spreadsheet. They are trying to balance taxes, farm jobs, and the survival of local towns all at once. A judge in a courtroom doesn't have the data, the specialized tools, or the democratic mandate to decide those massive trade-offs for the whole country. Just like a referee refuses to grab the coach's clipboard, the court won't override the government's complicated math, as long as the government can show they weighed all the factors they were legally supposed to. As the sun sets on our rugby match, the fans are heading home. They're realizing that no matter how much they complain to the referee, the final score isn't going to change. Courts are not a magical override button for policies we don't like. They ensure the process is followed, but they don't pick the winners or the losers. As long as the government follows the correct legal steps and explains its choices, the judges will let them play their game. We've learned that New Zealand's climate laws are built as a compass to guide us, not a set of mathematical chains to bind the government. The incredibly difficult choices, like balancing a healthy economy against a healthy planet, remain the job of the politicians we elect, not the judges who enforce the rules. If citizens feel like the country is running the wrong strategy, suing the referee isn't going to get us a different result. Real change happens when we take it up with the coach. In a democracy, that means using our voices, our